What is up YouTube, and welcome to this The Mandalorian Season 3 video. Yes, it's been a minute and we can now look forward to The Mandalorian Season 3 and little Grogu's future. There will be spoilers in this video and we will be discussing what happens next for Grogu in Mandalorian Season 3, if he is indeed in The Mandalorian Season 3. Still here? Awesome. So at the end of The Mandalorian Season 3, we saw the Jedi answer Grogu's call for a Jedi to come and train him, and that Jedi was none other than Luke freaking Skywalker, the legendary Jedi Knight and now Master. This is an interesting time in the Star Wars timeline, as we know exactly what happened to Luke's new Jedi Academy and Luke himself. So Luke taking Grogu to train him is very worrying for those of you who have seen the Disney sequel movies of Star Wars, and those of you who think he's the cutest damn thing alive like myself. However, I want to present an interesting idea I had while I was watching the finale, and I did touch on this briefly in my breakdown video, and you can check out my full breakdown on my channel as well if you would like. Well, what do we know about Grogu so far? It's been established that he was trained at the Jedi Temple as discovered by Ahsoka, and that he was trained by many Jedi before he was taken from the temple. But this is all backstory that we learn via someone else. Ahsoka actually got this memory from him while kind of communing in the Force with him, but this is important as we know that Grogu was being used in cloning efforts of Dr. Pershing and Moff Gideon's Imperial remnants. We know that they eventually were successful, as Snoke was created, and of course he was used by a cloned Palpatine to do his bidding, and bringing Kylo Ren to him to create a brand new apprentice. Now, many failed experiments happened, of course. We saw them over the course of this season, and we did briefly see them in The Rise of Skywalker opening. But what if Grogu was their first effort to clone a Jedi or a Force-sensitive being? We know that Snoke was a big, thick boy, so you'd want to start off with something a bit small there. But that makes me think, well, Ahsoka hinted that he had fear inside him, as she was, or at least has seen what happened to a Jedi like this before, of course hinting that her former master Anakin Skywalker did fall to the dark side. We know this fear of Padme and the anger that he had about his mother dying, and well, that pushed him firmly there on the dark path of the dark side there. Of course, that in its own made me think that this is similar to Anakin, as he was trained later in life than the usual younglings, and confirmed the Jedi's Council fears that he's too dangerous to be trained. This means that Luke may have been a bit more careful training him than Obi-Wan was with Anakin, as he knows that the true dark side capabilities could actually happen, and well, we saw these true dark side capabilities when he was actually captured by Moff Gideon once more. Once the Dark Troopers had taken little Grogu, we saw him on Gideon's ship and he was fighting against the Stormtroopers, and he uses the Force Choke. Of course, Force Choke, a favourite of Darth Vader, and is a notorious dark side power. This means that he is channeling the dark side and is very, very dangerous. In the finale, Moff Gideon praised little Grogu, and he was the one who was going to bring order. Yes, order, not balance. Not balance to the Force, but just pure order. He will, and for the Imperial remnants, bring that order, as he may bring about the rise of Kylo and the First Order through the cloning initiatives. Throughout this season, the Imperial remnants have banged on about the galaxy needing order. Almost every Imperial we met has said the same thing, and Grogu is key to this. And while the Jedis are the villains of the Empire, the only reason they would have been working with one would be at the orders of Palpatine from the shadows or after his death. Battlefront 2 actually showed the Empire despised the Jedis when one of the Inferno Squad met Luke, and he said how they were evil and dangerous. only for Luke to actually change his mind in one of the early signs that we were going to get the Luke Skywalker we really wanted. This means that there is a far, far higher power at work here than the Imperials, and explains why they are working with a Jedi. I personally think that Moff Gideon and the Imperials were in the first stages of forming the First Order, but they were born in the unknown regions, as we know, and well, currently Thrawn is there with Ezra Bridger, but that will continue on in Ahsoka's TV show. So, if he is a clone of Yoda, or if not then just a person lured to the dark side so that he could be a plant inside Luke Skywalker's new Jedi Order, just simply to tempt Kylo Ren or help with Snoke's plans that was also Palpatine's plans. We know Kylo was tempted by Snoke and lured to the dark ways of a Jedi. This could have been Grogu if he was indeed lured to the dark side, or even a dark clone. Heck, he could have even been taken by Sidious just before the fall of the Academy as part of his plan to secure a clone of himself for the future. Now, I know this is all very, very far-fetched, and while I think that Grogu is a clone is wild, I do think it's very plausible that it's all been a setup to lure the child to the dark side and use his blood. But what is his fate if this isn't the case? Well, we don't exactly know the child's age, but it's been about 30 years since he was taken from the Jedi Temple, and, well, the fall of Luke's Jedi Academy is in about 19 years' time from this Mandalorian Season 2 finale. So if he hasn't aged that much in 30 years, why would we expect him to age a bit more than that in kind of 19 years? Master Yoda was about 800 years old at the peak of his strength, so seemingly if he was not part of Sidious's plan to lure Kylo Ren, it's highly probable that he may actually have been killed at the temple with the rest of Luke's pupils. Of course, this is all speculation, as we know pretty much nothing of Grogu's time with Luke, but we know Grogu was tempted by the dark side and had that potential in him because we saw that on the ship. And even if he didn't have this fate, his fate does seem sealed, as we know that Kylo Ren, with the help of Snoke, ended Luke's Jedi Academy by slaughtering all of Luke's students. However, there is another idea. So we've had the clone, we've had the dark side, and we've had, well, the death. But don't forget that there was an awakening of the Force at the end of The Last Jedi, which we haven't really seen the result of. So he would probably be integral to that, in my opinion, if he didn't die. But obviously, they're not going to kill Baby Yoda, the child, Grogu. It's never going to happen because he is just the cultural phenomenon. But I hope that they don't move away from this story, because personally this story isn't over yet. But that is it for this video, so please do drop a like down below, do subscribe with notifications on, and you can check out my full breakdown and review of the finale as well, and let me know in the comments what topics you want on this channel, as we have a brand new Tenet video coming tomorrow. So that's it for this video. I will see you soon. Goodbye.